want to do a ballet video.
I think we should do a green bean video.
I think we can do a ballet one. A ballet one is fun. Beautiful dances, beautiful dances, beautiful dances.
Okay, now come here. Will bush green beans grow like pole beans? Will they actually grow up a trellis? Does that mean when you're doing square foot gardening that you have to be more careful where you plant your tomato trellis or your trellis for your cucumbers? Let's test that and see what happens. I grew two types of bush beans this year, a normal Blue Lake bush bean and an Italian bush bean. In this bed I grew Blue Lake bush beans. These green beans have acted like traditional bush beans and they've not tried to pull up. Now I do have this trellis here where I'm growing loofah, but they have not tried to grow up that. There's one here, but that is actually from the loofah gone astray. There is no indication here that these beans would try to pull. In this bed, I grew early bush Italian. One interesting thing here is that they actually did not grow earlier. The Blue Lake actually growed faster, but then these have actually started producing more toward the end. It is now the beginning of June, and they are not only bigger, taller, and much healthier looking, they're actually putting out a lot more fruit now, whereas the Blue Lake put out a lot more fruit initially. Just because of the fact they're taller makes you kind of think maybe they would grow higher. Now, this was completely accidental, but as I usually do, I've got green beans growing along close to my tomato plant. Now you can't tell initially because of the fact they're both green. Let's take a closer look and see what's happening. Right there you see a green bean plant. This is the same plant as below, but it is growing up the tomato cage, higher than the tomatoes are. So here you see the plants here, and you do see that they are trying to grow higher and higher. Over here, they've got, I would say, over 2 feet tall. And you can actually see more of those little runners, those feelers there, trying to grow up and grab onto more things. And then over here, you actually have the plant that is closest to the tomato plant. And it did exactly that. Here, it grabbed up and grabbed onto the tomato plant, and it kept on growing and going. There's more of it here. It's wrapping itself around the entire plant, and it's growing just like a pole bean. Still putting out flowers, putting out new growth, all the way up, and it is not stopping. This is a bush variety, as you can tell. They are growing like a bush, but it's interesting to me that they're actually growing like pole beans when allowed to. I feel confident that even if I had a tomato trellis right in here with these, they would not do the same because they're not trying to climb up that trellis. Remember that whenever you have these plants, a lot of them are hybrids. And what that means is that whenever you save their seeds, they could be either one of their parents. These beans are traditionally pole beans. And so whenever you save their seeds, there's a chance you could get one or two that would actually start being a pole bean instead. You cannot save all seeds. Not all plants are heirlooms. They could go back to either parent, a pole bean or a bush bean. This situation here, this is the first time I bought these seeds. So it is interesting to me that they decided to do this because I did not save these seeds yet. It's been 2 weeks and you see the growth of the green bean plant still acting like a pole bean instead of a bush bean, still continually growing up. Now I don't see any issues still. You see I have new little green beans here, all over. So a bunch of new growth, still just as much as I'm getting on my bush beans. I also have new tomatoes coming out here and everywhere else. So I don't think it's hindering the tomato plant either. So I'm just going to continue leaving it. I don't see any reason to clip it back. It's actually having more growth areas now and it's producing more. So I'm kind of getting the best of both worlds with bush beans and also with pole beans. Like always, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. A little bit of ballet dancing and a little bit of green beans. Thank you very much. Please subscribe and have a good day.